Let's see if this works. So, I mean, I kind of already know this works, but it's the first video on it, so you should be able to see. Let's see. Come on. Oh yeah, it's gonna throw the exception in a bit. Still, I haven't found like a way to like make it not do that. It's also this one. This one makes no sense because I'm also like removing these scripts, so I have to figure out what's happening. But at least it's not like non-fatal exception. I haven't tried like wrapping this one and like just try catch block like right here, and it just nope, it doesn't care. But yeah, there we go. So it works. We've got dash. I'm gonna switch to edit mode, and this is pretty much, you know, functional dash. Like, Unity has no idea about any interactions. All that Unity is doing is, you know, sending where the mouse cursor is, and it goes over here, and then like this computes all the meshes and all the updates and sends those back. There are some things that don't work, like for example the hovering doesn't work. I don't know why. I feel like maybe the material's not getting updates. It's a little bit strange. But I see like stuff is working. We can go inventory. Actually, let me see if I can user interface. I'm gonna switch it to English. There we go. That works. So let's create a new world. I'm gonna create a new world. And it's just straight up works. I can like walk around. I feel like, oh, the reflection probes, they're not working right, I think. So if I just make, just gonna make a material, the PB is metallic. The reflections probes, actually there should be a real-time one. Let's see, metallic. Oh no, that works, okay. Yeah, the real-time one works. Oh wait, how real-time is this? What is reflecting in that? I feel like I'm being reflected in there. There should be like one reflection probe there, and there's all the skybox stuff. Let's actually modify that and see if it properly updates. What am I doing? Skybox, there we go. Procedural sky material. I'm just gonna mess with the color a bit. There we go. Yeah, that works. Okay. So that updated. Is it changing? I mean, it did update. The ambient light feels like it updated, I think. Actually make a box. I think the ambient light is not being updated because it's, where's the sphere? Like, this is way too dark. It shouldn't be this dark. It's like pitch black. Actually see, are the values there? The values are not there. Okay. So we've got a reflection probe SH. I think that one... Yeah, this was not computing. Something's wrong with this one. This one does work, as far as I can tell. Can I just intensity? Yep, that works. But the SH values are not being computed, so something is wrong with these, which I need to fix up. Actually, I haven't like been able to test this yet, so but yeah, this is like working. It's kind of funky because I can literally, you know, be like, this is Resonite, except now it's running with .NET 9, and again, this is like all in debug mode, so it's not really gonna be indicative of performance. Also being piped into Unity editor, and literally like every message that it's sending that's controlling stuff, like I'm just dumping that into JSON for debugging, which is gonna take a lot of performance too. Which is also gonna be switched away from, but for debugging, like, this is good because like I'm usually stepping through stuff and trying to diagnose like what's happening, so I kind of have the entire history of pretty much the entire history of like what the Fruits engine is doing to control things, other than the buffers, which are the bulk of the data, but this kind of gives the major structure of stuff. But yeah, it's working. I can switch between worlds, so it's working fine. You can actually see the render spaces being toggled too in here. You know, it's like the render spaces that are being pulled. Yeah. It generally works. I'll probably do this one next. It seems like a good low-hanging fruit. I have to figure out what the materials are not working, but let's try opening the cloud home. That might be fun. Cloud home. I'm gonna do feature. There's a cloud home. Start session. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's fine. It's really annoying. Come on. Oh my god, there's so many. I don't know how to make it just not throw, because I'm like, I literally told it don't throw on this, and it just keeps throwing, and there's like another setting which you're supposed to turn off, so it doesn't turn, like, you know, doesn't throw it, but it still throws even though that setting is off. Just doesn't do it. Okay, there we go. It's loading in. I'm just gonna use more RAM. That's sending a lot of things. You can see like it's sending all the like commands for setting texture data and pushing stuff in and loading stuff. There's some errors. Ooh, there we go. Oh my god, this just kind of works. Oh, I had audio down. I don't know if it shows on the recording. Actually, does it? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it doesn't affect the recording. So, ambient light is off. That one's definitely not working, but those things seem to be working. There's something a little bit strange with the reflections. I think it might be the ambient light. I usually try to fix like the most, what's that? Was what? That's probably Unit editing, because that's like the editor. It works. Like, what's funny is like, you know, like, Unity has no idea. Oh yeah, videos won't work, I don't know. Unity has no idea, you know, like what any of this is. It's just literally... Oh, interesting, some bounding boxes aren't being passed on, right? I think. Oh yeah, also like graphical settings. Oh! Don't know what that was. Also my PC is kinda like slow anyways, because I have like a whole bunch of stuff running. It's been struggling in Visual Studio. But yeah, it's like, stuff is just working, like this is getting there. There's still like, again, like there's a bunch to do. Like for example, one thing you won't be able to see yet, which I don't think it'll take super long time, are like, you know, particles. So if I make particles, you won't see those because those are like different buffers, but the photon dust, it was actually designed, you know, to work with the... It was designed to work with the work, you know, with the interprocess, where all the data is like passed in this giant buffer, so I can just show it, like, you know, essentially replace that. So it's using... It's gonna be using like the shared memory allocator to put its data in, and it's always using like, you know, spans and other stuff, so like most of the code just stays the same. It just needs to replace the allocator. Same thing, like, you know, with the bitmaps. Bitmaps were like generally just using... There was like a byte array, so it was like very easy to move it over. It was very easy to move over to like IPC mechanism. The mesh had to be reworked. It's one of the reasons like it got reworked, so like it, like the bulk of the data is like passed over this big, like, you know, byte array. And then like a lot of the code is like working with spans to that, which has the benefit where it doesn't care whether it's like in managed memory or shared memory or native, which shared memory is a type of native memory. But yeah, it's working. Like all of the behavior, that's Frux engine. That's completely outside of Unity. Unity is literally just getting updates, you know, to meshes, meshes, you know, transforms, lights, just the... essentially just the renderables, but like it has no... like it doesn't even know there's a sound. Like the sound is happening completely outside of Unity. Like Unity has no idea. All it's getting is new values, you know, for the position of the doors. It's getting new values for the material states and other things like when it changes, but that's pretty much it. Which also makes this actually, when debugging, this actually makes this lighter because like it used to be that like Flux Engine would run within Unity. For debugging, I've done that in the past, but like it ran horribly. Like absolutely like horribly. Like Unity was like super sluggish in the dev mode. But I'm kinda rambling right now. I'm gonna so hold on, let's have a look here. So look at this. It works. Like it largely works. And again, still a bunch of stuff to do, but good progress. I'll probably look into fixing the ambient light first because I think that's the major thing right now. And it's gonna make it easier to like look into other problems that might be happening, but the reflections probes are being rendered, so this should be fine. So it's just the compute. It might be how it's like passing the values back. I might not be like handling it because it actually needs to compute a value Unity side with a compute shader, and then like it needs to send it back, and it sort of pre-allocates like a buffer for it, where like it's gonna fill its data and then be like, okay, this is done. Okay, I think we're gonna end it here, but like, you know, Dash works, Cloud Home works. Let's actually close it. Let's see if this explodes things. That worked. Oh, do I have not... Was this the Cloud Home? What was this? Let me... Oh, it didn't get cleaned up for some reason. I'll need to fix that too. But yeah, this actually makes it easier to debug. What if I actually... Let me break the drive here, and what if I just make... Okay, so it works if I just set it. So it's like just the compute that's not working. Which is like funny. This is like this is like the most complex way to debug stuff because there's also like a whole other engine here where like Unity has no idea. It has no idea, it just gets the new value. And it doesn't know why. It doesn't know that any of these interactions are like, you know, which I didn't like really do before, but like now the code is like, you know, running that is not even within Unity, it just doesn't see it. It's like, it sends, it's like, oh, the mouse cursor was clicked, or this button was pressed, and that's all it sends. And then like, you know, all the changes happen over here in .NET 9 realm, and then it gets passed back over here. And Unity just gets like, oh yeah, like the ambient light spherical harmonics is changed to this value, and you know, that's like Unity has no idea there's a connection between those two. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I'm kinda rambling. So thank you for watching. We'll see you with more progress soon.